You got into your top school.
Yes.
That's awesome.
As long as they cover your legs, it's fun. I was a gymnast for 15 years.
And then the police come and they're completely animalists. Everyone, welcome to the Big Man's Cabana. I am your host, Matthew J. Lepore, and I am on with a good friend of mine who is, as I say all the time, with these connoisseurs of everything. Not only are you in school, and you're at where right now for your master's?
I'm at UConn.
You're at Ucon still, okay. And you're doing that. You're doing sports medicine. It's not kinesiology.
It's
It
kinesiology.
is kinesiology. And then on top of that, you're back home and you're not just taking the high road and just relaxing, and you're working
Yeah.
almost every day as a one of the top servers we have at Creekside, and
Thank you.
killing it and dealing with all the fun, as we say there.
Yes.
So as you guys see, the setup's a little bit different. Probably about you guys are gonna see this on a Wednesday, but on this Monday, we just got these chairs, the whole new setup. So this place is gonna look a little different in the next couple weeks. So hopefully you guys like it, and if you don't, suka la mink. Now, Kayla, when I asked you to be on here, you were a little nervous. You seem pretty chill now.
Yeah.
Cool, good. See, it's just you and me, a couple microphones. So let's talk about school. When you were leaving high school, you were at Springford, right? We graduated together. What was your main focus? Did you always want to go into kinesiology, or is it just something that you were like, oh, I'll try this out and we'll see where it goes?
No, I always wanted to do athletic training. I was a gymnast for 15 years. I was heading to Rockport to continue my gymnastics career, and I knew I wanted to be involved in the sports world
Sure.
because it's all I've ever known.
Yeah.
Like, why would you leave it? And I always knew that I liked biology and science. And I took
Yeah.
anatomy and physiology, I believe, in my senior year, and I absolutely loved it. I would, constantly got good grades in that class, and I loved the material. So I knew I wanted to do something like that, and I don't really remember like looking into careers that matched the two, but I remember looking on the like website and undergrad majors,
Yeah.
and that's how I found athletic training. I was like, oh, this is really cool.
So was UConn a top choice, or is this like a place where? Because I know a lot of kids will like look. Okay, this is great for teaching. This is great for football. This is great for whatever they're doing. Right?
Yeah.
Did you do that, or is it just something that you were like, oh, I know they have a decent program. I should go there.
Oh no, it was definitely the pedigree of UConn.
Okay.
They have the Corey Stringer Institute there, where they study heat illness. It's like
Jeez.
honestly the father of heat illness research is there, Dr. Casa. And so that like that is a very good program to go and learn from. So when
Wow.
I looked into grad schools, I definitely ranked them based on the pedigree of research that's done there. And I think I had three schools that are at the top of my list, and UConn definitely was out on top. So
So that was your. So that was your. So you got into your top school.
yes,
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
awesome.
thank you.
So what was it like? We'll go to your freshman year, right? You're coming out of Springford. You're all excited. It's completely new, and you're not. And it's not home either.
No,
You're how far are you from
it was
here?
Rochester, New York, so
Yeah.
it was 5.5 hours. Yeah,
How is that different than here?
I would say it was definitely something to get used to.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, it's definitely a new environment, and I knew no one because it was a smaller school. And I mean, I was kind of excited about that because you'd gotten done with the
Sure.
4 years here, and you were ready to get out and try some new experiences. And it was really really awesome because I met my best friend on the very first day, and yeah, so it was definitely very exciting to kind of I don't know, like get into new routines and find new ways to like have fun. Like, here it was, you go see movies or you go
Yeah.
and hang out at the parks.
Small town. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then, in college it was meeting people from different towns and what they used to do.
That's
It's the
awesome.
most
I love that.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, was hearing how big that their high schools were. Because I told people like we graduated with about 600 people.
Yeah.
Schools up there are like 200 and less. My best friend went to school with 20 people.
See, that was one thing that
Yeah.
I like. Like no matter where you go, people like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm from like Royceford area, Collegeville.
Yeah.
And like, oh, cool. Like they was at Springfield, and I'm like, no, Springford was
Yeah.
one
I
I
always
went
tell
to.
people King of Prussia because
Okay,
everyone knows
yeah.
Springfield.
Um, and I'm like, yeah, dude, my class was insane. Like, and then we broke the record at one point, and it keeps getting broke every year. And they're like, how many? I'm like 700 something. They're like,
Yes.
dude, my graduating class was like 100 kids.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah. It's hilarious. It's funny, and it was a state school, so a lot of the people there were from New York, so they had an idea of like the other towns that were somewhat close. You could drive to them for a weekend and have some fun.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting to learn about like what everyone else from a different state thought of as fun to do. Like
That's
we
cool.
we went to a G-Eazy concert at oh my gosh, what was it?
You saw G Easy?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
We skipped our orientation. We went to see G-Eazy. Yeah. And
Dude, you should have went to Olean.
huh?
You should have went to Olean and
What?
checked out the knives.
No.
You should have went.
Oh my god. I will start cringing.
Gavin and I talked about that last night, but go ahead,
Oh,
sorry.
did you really? I mean, they're still good knives. Like my mom still likes to use them, but I tell her like I'm not helping you with anything surrounding that company.
God,
She's like,
yeah.
yeah, I need to send them in and get sharpened. I'm like, great, go ahead and do
Figure it
that.
out. I'm no longer a rep.
Nope.
Have her call Ben Finch.
Oh God, he doesn't answer my phone calls anymore.
Neither mine.
And I had
Yeah.
to ask him a question about something, and he refused to answer.
Wasn't that because of like the taxes or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Because you
I
called
got
me.
I got a tax form addressed to him, but my address on it. Yeah, and that's what I had to call him about because I was like, why do I have your tax form? But he would not answer. I was like, dude, this is government. Like, can you not send them to my door, please?
Oh,
Yeah, and I didn't know what to do with it.
dude, oh my god. Okay. Holy shit. I didn't know it was that deep. I just know you were calling around and then like you're calling me. I'm like, dude, I don't know how to help you.
Nope.
But so you skipped orientation,
Yep.
go to a G-Eazy concert.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you never went to college orientation?
No.
Oh my
It
god.
was the dumb stuff like
I
check
know. I
yourself
know.
before you wreck yourself. Like
Yeah, yeah.
it was all the normal freshman stuff. This is how you do this. This is who you call to get this. Like it
Yeah.
was all in the flyers they give you. It was fine.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So going into your sophomore year now,
Mhm.
you've had your first year. You really got to see kind of you're probably doing gen eds, so nothing crazy. Maybe one class is relative. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now that you're like kind of getting to the what do they say? The meat and potatoes
Yeah.
of like your work. Was this something that you were like, dude, this is it. This is what I had in mind?
Yeah, absolutely. So sophomore year was the year that I interviewed for the athletic training program. So that's
Okay.
how it was at my college. We took the gen eds, like you say, and there was an introductory class that was the weed out class for the
Okay.
program. Yes, and there were two sections of it, so about 40 people, and you needed to get an A in the class in order to qualify for an interview. So that was step number
Oh.
one. Yes. Number two, you had to pass the final. Okay. And then you would get invited to an interview, and I think about 20 or so people meet in an interview. So, yeah, I'm not sure what the work ethic was in the other two sections, but I know my section was very competitive. Like, we all, like, secretly talked about our test grades, and our professor would email them to us and be like, this is how many people got an A, B, and C. Just a reminder, this is how you drop the class if you don't think you can do this. So she was very intimidating, that professor.
Well, I mean,
To
there
death, but
there there are studies out there. I know Stanford did a big one. It was I forget what the control group was, but I think it was just like it was like 10 random like just 10 kids, and I think it was zoology. I know like Jason said like that's a big weed out course for them. I'm pretty sure it was
mhm,
zoology. But then they had two other groups. One group was just kids who were average kids or whatever it is, and you had these kids who were just super like insane. But then what they
yeah,
would do is they would put like three kids that were like average or like C's or B's in those group, and they found that the kids that were in the higher control group, they were doing well.
mhm,
They're getting A's.
yeah,
Then the kids that were in the lowering group with one or two kids that excel, they found that those kids are they're slowly diminishing, but then
mhm,
they're also talking to the other group, and then the other regular control group was just a control group.
yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah,
So there's things like that where it is funny to see you have one group that will do great, but one group that won't. But
yeah.
then there's some of the outliers that will talk to your group instead of their own.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And our section was the first section. It was like 8 a.m. So like we were like the get up and go getters. So it was like I
Ugh,
think that might have been why.
dude, the 8 a.m.s, man. Fuck
I
me.
didn't mind it. It kept you on a schedule, to
Yeah.
be honest, because like I really craved that schedule from high school. I know everyone talks about how like, oh my god, we got up at like the crack of dawn and we got to school at 7. We started 7 classes. You had like a 30-minute lunch break, and then you had practice for 4 hours. And you go home and you had some other after school activity, and then you had homework. And I remember like that's how it was. That I
I
was going
know.
to bed at like
I know.
midnight after getting done practice and getting home,
And
and it's like,
studying.
how
Yeah.
did we function like this? No wonder I was so fucking tired in the morning,
Mhm.
and I didn't want to get up at 6 a.m. to go to
Yep.
class. And now, like, I still crave that schedule because I get up in the morning, I get my stuff done, and then I have the afternoon to either get homework done, go hang out with friends, or, when I was a gymnast, I still had practice, or at this point, like, I work out, and it's like, I like that schedule. So, like, I keep doing that.
It is really weird to like look back and see all that kind of stuff because even with like a structured schedule, it's like in high school I feel things were very like pinpointed. Like I knew exactly where I was gonna be like, in 6 months. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like you had football, then you had wrestling,
Mm-hmm.
and it's interesting because like in 6 months I'm like, oh man, I don't like I have to check my calendar, or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
so when did you start working with the sports teams when you were at UConn?
So when I was at Ucon, we started in August.
Okay,
Actually, like I started before school started. We had preseason.
okay,
Yeah.
and you were working with football,
I'm
or was
working
it
with the multiple teams.
which ones?
Yeah. In the fall, I was working with a little bit of men's soccer, as well as who else did I work with? Women's soccer, of course. Um, Baseball had fall ball, and then field hockey a little bit. Dabbled a bit in field hockey, and dabbled a bit in volleyball.
Okay. So what was it like working like with your peers? So you know this girl who's an insane athlete, and you're now in charge of like, okay, I have to watch her, make sure she's okay. Like I'm learning from her body
Yeah.
essentially. So how was that transition with you're working on your peers?
So it's great because you can relate to them and you feel like that they can, you know, tell you something that probably wouldn't tell like another older
Because
professional.
you're a peer. Yeah.
Yes, because you're a peer. They feel like they can say like, "Oh yeah, like today walking around when we were walking around, whatever the quad, my leg really hurt." Or, last night's practice, I know you were there, like this and this really hurt. But I don't know if they would have been able to relate to an older
Yeah.
professional. So I have noticed like it's a lot easier to talk to them and it's like more of a casual conversation. Just like, "Hey man, how you doing?"
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
You
like this hurts today, but I was hanging out with buddies and we were walking down the stairs and my ankle really hurt.
mm,
And it's a lot better. So
yeah.
I'm really trying to take advantage of that and make sure that I can really make those connections with my athletes and feel like they can trust me on a professional standpoint, but also relate to me on, a personal standpoint.
Yeah.
We can be, friends. You can trust me in letting me know what's going on with you so that I can help you.
That's cool. So have you ever had like a situation where you were up, you had to go help someone?
Yes, absolutely. I had an athlete that had a mental health emergency,
Mm.
and to be a first year, a new grad, handling that, it was a lot. But I was really, how do I want to say this? I was really grateful that she was able to trust in me what was going on with her and ask for my help.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if I may not have known confidently
Yeah.
who to go to or who to send her to if I didn't know those professionals personally. I hadn't met them in person yet.
Yeah.
But I knew that she had to go talk to them. So I was able to support her and encouraging her to go talk to them even if I didn't know who she was going to see because I knew that that's who what I had to do to help her.
So how was that sounds like a very like delicate situation.
Mm-hmm.
Now you still being in school, you're still learning the ropes and a lot of this
Yeah.
stuff. How was that? Was that like a lot of pressure, or did you consult somebody?
It definitely was a lot of pressure, and I definitely did consult my boss,
Mm.
who helped me through that, and she definitely encouraged me afterward and letting me know that I did the right things, that I said the right things, and that we really did help her. And I could see that because she did come back to me numerous times throughout the year to update me on how she was doing, whether or not it was positive or negative, and ask for more help. So
Yeah.
I knew that what I did and what I'd said made a difference. And it felt great to know that it made a difference because when you're in a caretaking profession,
Yeah.
it's really important to know that what you're doing is making a difference, even if you don't
Bro,
see it immediately. That can be really
that's a nugget,
encouraging to
dude.
us to like continue doing it and
Yeah.
have a passion for it because it is working in a sense, even if you can't physically see it because mental health emergencies, mental health, mental illness is not visible, obviously. Even if, a physical injury is visible, you can't see the muscle fibers healing.
Yeah.
You can't see like the bone healing, but you know it's working.
Yeah.
So you have to have the same mindset when it comes to mental health. So I was really happy that I was able to help her, and I saw her at the end of the year, a couple weeks ago before I
Did you
kicked off.
cry?
I was close. I was
Ah,
close,
see, I
but
knew it.
we
Yeah.
did one last check in, and before she went home, and I could see she was so much happier and she was so
Good.
much better, and I was so happy that she was able to make, so many leaps and bounds in her freshman year. She was a freshman.
Yeah,
So I was so, so proud of her. And I really hope that when I see her again in the fall, that she's that much better.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So has is mental health along with these sports is that a big thing that a lot of these like athletes deal with?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I've noticed it in quite a few of my athletes. I took a class this year actually called Behavioral Health with my thesis advisor, and it was an amazing class. We talked about all the different mental health conditions that you could see in an athlete, how they relate to athletes specifically,
Yeah.
but then I also figured out how you can relate them to everyday life and just normal people
Okay.
and how important it is. And I was writing like paragraphs for these discussion posts. I know everyone hates on discussion posts, but I still
Yeah. Respond.
hates.
You're the one. I hope you understand. You're that person no one responds to.
Yeah, I was because I wrote paragraphs and
Yeah.
I wanted to read it all. But for me, it was really great because I could see what it meant. And
Yeah.
it was different because I was the only one in that class who was working professionally. I was taking
Okay.
this as a professional. These other kids in the class were students still, so they hadn't been working as long as I have. So
Okay.
I
I
had a different
understand.
perspective that they
Sure.
could actually relate to, and
Yeah.
they will get that. And I hope that they think back to this class and relate that.
That's just
Um,
crazy. I just remember sitting there and I'm like, click, Kayla Staquet. Nope.
uh huh. Oh, I really like what you said there. Yeah, I agree. And that's all you say for discussion for response. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know.
People,
I
people,
know.
people just go in and be like, all right, this one's pretty short.
Yeah.
Glance over this, respond to two people. But trust me,
I
I've seen
You do
those.
like the throwaway classes, but I knew that this class was important.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
respect
was
that.
really excited with this class. So
So
yes.
now I guess the opposite question is, when it comes to you guys are taking care of them
Hmm.
all the time. You're watching, you're sitting there for hours. Sometimes nothing happens. Maybe you're just there, and not that it's a waste. I'm just saying, like, you just spend 2 3 hours
Hmm.
just doing nothing, just making sure, just watching, being vigilant. And sometimes you gotta check on the people that check on you. So how does
Absolutely.
that mental health aspect work with you guys?
So that's a currently developing research opportunity. That's
Mm.
actually what my thesis is on, is looking at the mental health of
Okay.
caretakers. So it's new in the research world, but we have discovered that you know they're not thinking about their mental health as much. A lot of the research that I'm doing in my literature review are showing that like nurses and social workers and personal caretakers, just
Mm-hmm.
everyday people taking care of their moms and
Especially
dads.
nurses, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Social workers, they all experience what we call compassion fatigue. And it's when you're giving so much from yourself and your knowledge and what you know, and you're trying to help this person, and you don't see an immediate response.
Mm.
So, like I said, with athletic training, we see these responses. They're able to balance better on their sprained ankle. They're able to, throw farther, even
Yeah.
though they had just had labral surgery.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you see those
Yeah.
increases in their progression. But when you don't, when you have people in intensive care units or you have children in social worker situations where they're just getting the shit out of the stick and they're not getting
Yeah. Those
what they deserve, it's
those social
really really
workers.
hard.
You ever like see those like wild stories?
Yeah,
Yeah. You ever read about them?
yeah,
Dude, they're brutal.
they are,
They are brutal.
they are, and to the point where like I'm starting to think about my future, my family, what I want, and it's
Yeah.
breaking my heart to know that like kids are not being loved and cared for the way that they deserve, and it's like
And
yeah,
what's so sad is it's all too often.
yeah,
I don't know the statistic. I saw it a little bit ago, but I don't want to say it because I don't know the exact off the top of my head or the source. Um, but it's a ridiculous amount, and like I hate to say it, but a lot of like Section 8 houses and a lot of like even in areas like Collegeville, you wouldn't think sometimes, or it happens a lot, and
yeah.
it's sad because a lot of these kids, you usually get two kinds of kids. You get the kids who come out of it, right, and they can function as a human being, they can get a job, they can go to college, whatever it is. But then you also have the brand of the sick, where it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
They're repeating the same cycles, and I think that's I'm glad you brought that up because that it's called compassion fatigue, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, when you're dealing with something like that, you're very passionate about it. But I mean, like, how many stories, how many things can you hear and see until
Yeah.
it like weighs on you?
You start to experience the same symptoms they're describing.
Oh,
And it's
really?
almost yes, it's almost like they're
Really?
experiencing the same trauma. Some of these questions in these validated scales are asking, do you have the same dreams that your patients are describing about the trauma that they have, or do you feel the same symptoms? And that's in a summarized sense. Of course, they ask that much more specific way, but yes, that's compassion fatigue, is they start to experience the same trauma they're trying to help these people with,
Oh my
or the symptoms
gosh.
of the trauma. So yes,
So it's not transferring. It's just is it
almost like mirroring.
mirroring?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I gotta think of the word.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my. Oh, I just never.
And what's interesting is it's never been studied in athletic training, which is interesting, but it's, I think, become more prevalent with the unfortunate situation that happened with Damar Hamlin. It's showing that, like, these people we're doing CPR on these people in rare but unfortunate cases. And you think about, like, he's going to be the keynote speaker. That athletic trainer is going to be the keynote speaker at the NITA convention in
Oh,
Indianapolis
nice.
in
Okay.
2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go and I'm going to hear about,
Oh,
what
you're.
he thought.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
go you.
I'm going. Yeah. I'm
Hashtag
excited.
pop off, dude. Yeah, go
Thanks.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's like, you do have to wonder, how did he feel immediately after, knowing he just did CPR for 9 or so minutes, I believe it was, waiting for the ambulance to get ready, put him on the stretcher, take him to the hospital, and you're just sitting there thinking, like, is he going to make it? It's
Yeah.
get down to as real as that, and it's scary to think about.
I never thought about that.
Yeah,
I do know that CPR doesn't have a great success rate either,
50%. I
and
hate
and
that
people
statistic.
people don't know that. I learned that dude, I might have been in Boy Scouts,
Yeah,
because like you learn like CPR, like you'll take like merit badges and things like that.
yeah. I
Um,
think we were taught it in health class in high school.
yeah,
Yeah.
that yes yes yes. Um, but I know it was like I don't remember the statistic again, so I don't want to say it, but um, it's not as high as you think,
No.
and it's kind of scary because oh, someone's passed on the floor, right? Like if I'm passed out, you're gonna try to do your best. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And it's a
And
lot harder than you think too.
no one,
Yeah.
trust me, I
So
know.
when we were, like, in our athletic training program, they took us in New York to this place called Sports Medicine Concepts. It's
Mhm.
awesome. They create, like, real life situations with mannequins, with the sounds, like the cheers from the crowd and everything. And they had this really cool mannequin that showed the depth and the force of the CPR that you were giving to this mannequin to show
They
you if
have
it
the
was being
crowd.
effective or not. It is a lot harder than you think to
Yeah.
actually, do it correctly,
Hmm.
the way that you're supposed to, and
Yeah.
for at least 30 seconds before you switch off with, if you have a partner that's CPR trained and can switch off with you.
Oh
You're
my,
by yourself. You're on your own. You
dude,
got to do this
that's
right the whole time.
that's scary because we had to do
Yeah.
it for the when I was in a assistant group supervisor at the Y. Like I work with the kids all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be CPR trained.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm tired, but we didn't have anything fancy like that. Like that blows my mind.
Yeah.
And they're like explaining like that's why you're two people, just in case you do this, so you can switch off. I mean, I can't imagine doing that for 9 minutes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I mean, I imagine they switched off. They had a whole
oh,
team there with the Buffalo Bills. Like,
okay,
they
I
had their
didn't think
whole
about
team.
that. Yeah,
They likely did, but I don't know. I didn't watch the video that closely. Of course, they have the teams crowding around for support as well, so you can't really show, like, how closely they are working through this. I wonder if that's what he's going to talk about when we get to the convention, is if we're going to go through the details in athletic training specific, language, and how they handled this emergency action plan, because of course you practice it. You
yeah.
have a bunch of medical professionals there that all meet before the game starts, and you say, like, all right, this is the person you go call if you need this. This is the person you go get if you need this. This person's going to be here, and here's what we do if this happens. This person's going to go out. This person's going to get the radio. This person's going to get the AED, and this is how we're
Wow.
doing things. Yeah.
Holy shit,
So a lot goes on
that's
behind the
wild.
scenes.
No,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I mean, you're dealing with lives, which is that's crazy,
Yeah.
dude. I'm learning so much stuff.
Yeah.
When I had Jimmy on, I realized how much of an idiot I am. And then now sitting with you, I'm also realizing how much of an idiot I am.
No,
No,
you
but I'm
are
just saying,
intelligent other
I'm
ways,
just saying,
though.
it's just
Yeah.
funny because I never would have thought of that.
Yeah.
And I know the Hamlin thing was wild. That was what happened exactly. I forget what it was.
It was commotio cordis.
Right.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
actually a very rare condition in which the timing has to be perfect. It's literally a 10 millisecond window that a blunt force trauma, so the helmet, has to strike the chest, and it stops the heart rhythm, or interrupts it. It doesn't stop it completely, but it interrupts it, and the electrical signals all get all wacky, for simpler terms. have to essentially restart the heart to get the electrical signals to return to their normal rhythm. And you have 3 minutes to restart the heart. And that's the research I've found. Because it was interesting. Coincidentally, I was studying commercial cordis specifically in my class with Dr. Casa when that happened.
Wow.
So I was like, okay, this incredibly rare phenomenon, and age too. This normally does not
Yeah.
happen in anyone older than 8.
So I think so. I didn't obviously. I don't know what happened. Like, I and then I'm of course your Facebook's loose and your Instagram's loose, and that's when I first saw that. I had no clue what that was. I never
Yeah.
heard of it. I would never understand what it is. So I did my research and started looking it up, and it happens for what it was older people. It was between the ages of You have to help me out here, but I know everyone was saying he was so young. He was so young, and
Yeah.
it rarely ever happens
So it
around that
normally
age.
happens in children
I
up
thought it
until
was
the age of
older.
18. It can happen in older. It's because of the maturity of the bone structure. So
Oh,
in
so I was on
children,
the wrong
it's
end of
not
that.
really that mature, and
Okay.
in older people, it is weakening. So it's possible, yes.
Okay.
But him being in his early mid 20s,
Yeah.
right?
This 20. Yeah,
He
23,
could have
24.
been
Yeah.
mature and strong enough that it likely was,
Oh, I thought it was the other
an
way around. Okay.
unfortunate circumstance.
Okay.
It's like a, what do they call it? Like the perfect storm,
Yeah.
you know, of all these things that had to go wrong at the same time for this to happen.
Yeah.
And you think about,
Yeah.
like, the NFL has so much money in injury prevention research that their chest protectors have to be like some of the best on the market,
Yeah.
if not the best on the market. So again, it's still just this clusterfuck of, the worst circumstances of the helmet in the right place, the right timing in his
And
heart
there probably
rate.
could have been anything to prevent that, could there be?
No,
Yeah.
unfortunately not, because you really can't, you know, sense that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you really just have the only prevention you really can do is the added, layer of protection in the chest protector and the helmet and the material it's made out of. You can do all that, but if the timing is right,
And they even have those
it can
plates on their
happen.
head
Yeah.
too. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, dude. That's
Mhm.
crazy. That was one of the wildest stories. 'Cause I remember I didn't really know too much about him. Um, so I only follow football so much,
Yeah.
and I opened Instagram, and
Yeah.
that's all I saw.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. One of
I'm
my
like,
friends texted me and said, "Hey, did you see this?" Actually, it was my mom that texted me and said, "Hey, did you see what happened to this Bills player?" No, I don't really watch Bills games. Sorry, I knew I lived in Rochester, but
yeah,
I, I didn't really watch it. And I saw the video and I was like, oh my God.
yeah,
And, this, because it happens so often in younger kids, that's why we're really trying to push that youth teams and high schools need athletic trainers. Because, like I said, you have 3 minutes to restart the heart. You're not going to get an ambulance out to this field, this youth
yeah,
league field, in
yeah,
3 minutes
yeah.
if this happens. And those
That's
kids aren't
crazy.
wearing chest protectors. Like, it can happen. It's most likely in, baseball catchers, softball catchers, the pitchers, if it goes that way. It's rare, but it can happen. And of course, football and contact sports,
Yeah,
lacrosse, very often because their chest
yeah,
protectors are horrible.
yeah.
Let me tell you, those are like foam and plastic. There's nothing
Really,
else.
that's it?
Lacrosse?
Those things hurt.
Oh yeah, lacrosse balls
You ever
hurt.
been hit by
Yes.
one of them?
Yeah,
Dude, they
they
hurt.
hurt. They hurt.
They hurt. So they get
Mhm.
slung at you. Yeah.
Have you seen the equipment they wear? It's next to
No,
nothing.
I've
They're a
never.
very different breed. Like, they don't want to protect anything. They're
Yeah.
like,
Well, they can
the
run around
worst.
a lot
Mhm.
easier. Run around a lot easier.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah,
true. But it can happen so often in
it's so
younger kids.
scary.
So we really need parents to be aware that, like, hey, your kid has the risk here to be injured. They need someone who's medically trained to start CPR, knows what to look for, signs and symptoms, and can identify what the condition is and how to fix it, and how to get someone else out here to transfer them to a hospital or a medical facility that can help them recover even farther.
Okay.
But like the immediate treatment, the immediate care is what's most important.
I see.
Mhm.
So I coached the Springford youth, right?
Yeah,
So there really is an athletic trainer just running around there.
yeah,
Obviously, you know that.
yeah. I've asked Anthony. He's like, yeah, we just had the parents call, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
dude,
Yeah. So would you say that there should be some kind of training that these coaches or young men and women should have?
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. If anything, you guys should definitely be CPR certified. If you're not, if all of you are not, you all should be.
Yeah.
Just in case, you never know who's gonna happen.
That's
That
true.
doesn't
That's
mean a
very
person.
true.
That doesn't mean a person has to go pick up their kid. They're sick. They're not going to be there. Then you have no one there that's CPR certified. You need everyone to be.
Yeah.
And if you can, I would reach out maybe to like the fire departments and see if they can give you like tips and tricks on how to
Yeah.
stabilize a situation until you can get someone there.
You know,
Because
that's gonna be
they
a bad
don't.
idea too. We could
Hmm.
reach out to Ken
Yeah.
at the fire chief. He
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
What I really love about my profession is that we're a cohesive team.
Yeah.
Like I said, we have these team meetings. In the beginning of the season, we meet with the local fire department and the police department. We go through our plan. We talk about, okay, like if we have to call you, this is where we tell you we're going to be. This is where the gate is going to be open for you to come in. It's going to be this gate every single time. We're going to make sure that this gate's clear. No one's allowed to stand here. This is where you're going to pull your truck in. This is where I'm going to meet you. And this is where every
That's
AED is in
awesome.
the
Yeah.
building. We talk about all of it. There's so much planning that goes on behind the scenes. I know normally they just see athletic trainers as people on the sidelines with the water bottles.
Kinda, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm not even trying to be mean. It just, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
you're right. But hydration is an important aspect, but
Agreed.
there's so
Agreed.
much more that we are trained for and ready for behind the scenes, and we pray every day that it never happens. We want the slow days and the boring days because that means that everyone's okay,
Yeah.
everyone's safe.
Yeah.
But we are ready for the days where shit hits the fan, and we have to do our jobs. Yeah.
That's
So.
just. I remember very specifically, and I will never in my life ever forget this. So you remember back in high school on the football field. Now all of us are standing like some of the offense were standing like the opposite 20, right?
Mhm.
Do you remember Toby Poet at all?
The name sounds familiar.
He was like 1 or 2 years older than us. I think two. Doesn't matter. The kickoff happens. He's running, and he's a big boy,
Mhm.
but he was also a very athletic boy. So they put him on the kickoff team. And as they go out, I guess he went to go tackle someone, missed, and he rolled into the tibia and fibula.
Ooh.
And this wasn't like he broke it.
Mhm.
We heard crack. Like, it
Yeah.
was loud.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you see this kid like holding his leg in its compound,
Yeah.
and it's out. And I'll never forget that turning around thinking I heard someone's helmet, but it wasn't someone's helmet. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
And then later that game, this is gonna sound so messed up. He took both their quarterbacks out too because he hit them so hard.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
This guy
Oh
gonna
no,
go on
he
scholarship.
he took out one. He took out one. The other one they were scared
Oh man.
because he heard him,
What
but
were
he
you
was
playing?
fine. Football.
No, who?
I think it was CB West,
I don't remember
right?
them.
I think
Okay.
right.
Wow.
CB East. Yeah, yeah. And the thing is like if we had athletic trainers. We
Mhm.
Dr. Crush at Rothman. I've
Yeah.
gone to him plenty. Saw him like 8 months ago for my back a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the legit doctors help too,
Mhm.
especially if someone's like
Yeah.
concussed. They just go, yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're not doing
Yeah.
this
With
today.
the contact sports, we definitely have physicians on the sideline to be ready for that. Football and lacrosse specifically.
Yeah,
Sometimes they'll come to basketball games, but definitely is there. I know when I was at in undergrad at Brockport, we had a guy who fractured his femur. Yeah, our running back took out his femur, and this running back was like huge. He was one of the guys where I'd say like you're crazy, like eye black down the face. Like he was one of those ones where you're gonna get hit by him, you're gonna get hurt. So if anyone had to have done it, I would have figured it would have been him or one other guy.
dude.
But yeah, femur snaps in half,
How?
and
It's one of the hardest bones to break, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, that takes a lot to break
How
a
does that
femur.
happen?
I don't know how he did it. I think he went in with his shoulder, and it almost looked like helmet may have made contact. I I I don't know the specifics. It was on the opposite sideline from me, so I couldn't really see very well of it.
I
But
don't even because if he breaks that, you have your femoral artery there
yeah,
too, so that's even
yeah.
worse.
So immediately, all athletic trainers,
Sprinting.
my boss told me, Kayla, stay here. You're in charge of the team. I was like, oh my god, are you serious? He's like, yeah, I gotta go. I was like, okay. So I am in charge of how many? 100 guys. All well, the game's continuing. Okay, they get him off the field because he's right by his sideline, so they're able to get him on a spine board, take him off the field,
Oh my
and
god.
they're all over there stabilizing the femur, calling an ambulance. Our team physician went over and is making sure that the artery he wouldn't cut the artery. He was okay, but
Dude,
trying to stabilize, trying to splint it, and meanwhile I'm in charge of everyone on my team and making sure everyone on their team's fine because all of their athletic trainers are helping him too. And this was right before
so
halftime.
there's you and
So
like 200 dudes.
yeah,
I've seen that video before.
shut up.
I'm so sorry, but no. So
Yeah,
oh my gosh, dude.
yeah. And it was right before halftime. So then at halftime, everyone's walking back to the locker rooms, and they're loading him in the ambulance, and you can see it. Not the femur, but you can see like his leg is not in line. And
I was gonna
yeah,
say if you compound fracture your femur,
no,
dude, that's bad.
yeah,
I would just be freaking out about the femoral artery being there
yeah.
too.
And my
Mm.
boss, sent us the X-ray because their athletic trainer sent it over to us because we asked like, is he okay? Like, how
Mhm.
is it going? He was okay. It
Okay,
got
good, good.
um, put back in place and casted, and he was obviously
Okay.
done for the season. But they sent us the
Oh no,
X-ray.
really?
Yeah, yeah, they sent us the X-ray. It's actually really really cool.
Was it a clean break?
No, no.
Okay.
It was looked like a Z, jagged. Yeah,
God, dude, I'm so
yeah.
uncomfortable. After breaking this, like this is so gonna, this ankle's gonna be fat forever, dude. I
No,
hate.
I remember when you broke
Don't
yours.
want to
I
relive it. I'm
remember.
cool.
No, you're good. I just remember
Yeah.
like guys from the team telling me like we heard it,
Yeah.
and I was like, dude, really? And they were all like, we didn't know what to do. We all froze.
Yeah.
They're like, how do we help him? I'm like, you can't. You're not allowed to do anything. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. No, dude. And that sucks. And what's so sad is too, especially with those athletes, these guys. I know what it's like. It's like you train all the time. You're up at 5.
Yeah.
You're in the weight room.
Mhm.
Like no one else is there except you and a couple guys.
Yeah.
Then you're going to school, doing what you got to do. Leave your classes, and then you're lifting. You're going back. You're gonna be hitting the field. You're gonna
Mhm.
be swimming. You're gonna be doing something, and it sucks. Is
Yeah.
like you put so much effort into like this specific thing. You
Mhm.
know, a lot of people call it's like burning the boats. I don't I think it was the Vikings or was the Romans. I forget what it was. But the term comes is these guys are gonna go conquer this land.
Mhm.
So their leader burnt the boats. They go, there's no going back.
Oh
There
yeah.
is no,
I've
I
heard
don't
of
know.
this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what it was the logistics of it. But he goes, we're not going back.
Yeah.
Burning the boats.
We're not retreating.
You
We're taking
we're
this,
taking
or
this.
this is how we end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of the guys do that. Like a lot of those professionals
Yeah.
and even people that I live with that like, dude, like this has to work out for me.
They
I want
have a
this to
lot of
work,
passion for it. Yeah.
and they'll
Mhm.
just go for it.
Yeah, that's after taking this behavioral health class, I have now made it a point to ask every single one of my athletes, doesn't matter how serious the injury is, how are you doing mentally?
Yeah.
How are you handling this? How are you feeling about it? And I don't care, what your coach says. I don't care what your team says, what competition's coming up. How are you feeling about this? And
Yeah.
it's always a question I ask now when it happens, when I'm doing the injury eval, how they're doing. And every single day when they come in for rehab and before I return them to play and clear them to play, do you feel like you can trust XYZ injury, XYZ joint to play and not think about your knee and think about your ankle when you're dodging a defender, when you're going for the goal? Are you thinking about your knee or are you thinking about the ball?
So I guess my question is, are you worried that they're gonna lie to you?
Initially, I was, but then after building that rapport, like I said, with these athletes and knowing that at my age we can relate to each other, I do think as they got to know me and as I got to, show them that I support them on the field and I want them to be there, I don't want to pull them out. That's one of the biggest misconceptions about athletic trainers is they don't want to come tell us there's an injury because they think we're immediately going to pull them off the field. That's the last thing I want to do. I want to help you stay on the field. And if that means we do rehab 2 to 3 times a week, that's great. If that means you stay on the field, even at a limited capacity, just for a little bit, that's
Mm-hmm.
fine. The last thing I'm going to do is pull off you the field only if I feel like you're going to hurt yourself further or you're in danger of hurting someone else because you can
Yeah.
continue at your full capacity.
Yeah, and don't do this the wrong way. And
Yeah.
then and listen, we loved you guys. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
I like even people that I deal with on like a regular basis,
Mhm.
like the one guy Doc. It's like anything that comes up, I'm like I'm not gonna say nothing because then if like Jimmy finds out or something,
Yeah.
I'm not lifting them. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You guys, we I forget what we used to call you guys, but I would never ever talk
Yeah.
about an injury. Kate be like, "Oh, Matt, how are you? I'm great. I'm great today.
Yeah.
Oh, how's your wrist? Honestly, it feels great. I was right. I was using my left hand the one day. I was like, no, dude, it was great. It was fantastic. I would just lie to you guys. That's all we would do. I remember Noah. He fucked up like his hamstring. He just tweaked it, but he
Yeah.
was limping a little bit. And I forget who it was. It was Dan or someone. And he's like, how are you feeling? He goes, I'm great. I'm
Yeah.
great. And he walked back. He looked great when he was walking to the sideline. He just over to me and TJ. He goes, dude, stop.
Dude, that's funny,
Yeah.
because we know. We know. I watched one of our kick return guys on the kick return team. He got smoked. But
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but
it was a bad hit. Like, if you look back at it, you would laugh, yeah. But it
there's
was a bad hit. And I was like, he is concussed. And I looked at my boss and I said, he's concussed. He's like, yeah, we'll talk to him when he comes off. He comes over. He's like, all right, how you feeling? He's like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm like, you sure?
Yes,
Like, yeah, I'm fine. All right, yeah. 5 minutes later, comes back to me. Kayla, I'm not good. I'm like,
yeah.
yeah, I know. Go sit down. I knew. I was waiting for you to come back to me. We could tell. We
Dude,
could tell.
there's this TikTok account. It's like NFL Weekly, but they only do like kickoff like greatest hits
Yeah.
because you have these behemoths. Like you gotta remember, like they're looking like in the combine
Mm,
can jump the highest,
yeah.
bench the most, or the amount of reps they can do, how fast they are,
Mm-hmm.
and you're now having like 365-pound men run a sub 540, and not like a four. Not I'm talking like a 487, 485,
Yeah.
and these guys are running at you from
Mm-hmm.
end to end,
Yeah.
and
I
there
know.
there's just something so funny and pure
I used to tell my
about
team, I was
just
like, I hate this drill. I hate this part of the game because I know that like one of you can get your ass smoked. Like the kicker is on 1 foot. The guy diving for it can get kicked in the face. I think I saw that happen. Like this is the worst part of this game ever.
you ever see a fair catch, but someone doesn't understand what's happening and they deck the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are bad.
Uh huh.
Those are really
Yeah.
bad. I
I think
love
I'm
watching those
wondering what
because
this situation was with the guy that was concussed. I was like,
yeah.
I don't remember if he caught it, but I think it was almost like one of those. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. There was a video. It's totally unrelated, but it is kind of related. It was this kid. I think his name was like Jimmy, and he had cancer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they put him in the game. They're like, we're gonna let little Jimmy or Timmy run
Oh,
the run the ball to the end zone. He's gonna score
no.
for the Miami Falcons or whatever. And they give him the ball. Everyone's like blocking and joking around and cheering. The other team's cheering, and all of a sudden, there's just this guy who's out of like left field, decks the kid, stomps over him, just goes, "Ugh." And everyone's like, dude. So whenever anyone gets laid out, I just think of, and this wasn't real. It was a skit.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I hope it was a skit
Oh,
because that's
okay.
really messed up.
Yeah,
You
that
would just
is.
deck a kid with
Yeah.
cancer. I'm a messed up person though. I'm just laughing at this, but I knew it was fake, so it's like
I really hope it was.
I hope it was
I
too.
really hope
Otherwise,
it
I'm
was.
getting canceled. No more Big Man's Cabana. Oh,
I mean, if you call a guy homie again, you might,
stop, bro. Stop, dog. No, we're not. We're not reliving that. But anyways, yeah. So, would you say that you're really enjoying like your time?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
absolutely, absolutely. I remember thinking every day going to class at Ucon's campus, and I'm walking into Gamble Pavilion. That's literally where my classes are. It's like
Okay.
the basketball capital of the world, literally the stadium.
Yeah.
We have classes in the back rooms, and I know, right? It's so cool. I'm walking to the stadium, and I'm thinking like I'm taking classes with the father of heat illness research on the most important conditions athletic trainers can see, and
That's
I think
awesome,
it's just
dude.
so amazing that
Wow.
I'm able to sit here and learn from him and his students and everything that they're currently researching, everything they have researched recently that's only just been published, and
Yeah.
what feedback are they getting on it, how are they using this to help NFL, and like they're also working with war fighters, so army, military, and then laborers, so workers in production plants and factories and everything, because heat illness can happen in any one of those conditions.
Interesting.
So they're applying all this research to all these really cool settings. Oh, yeah,
You're good,
yeah.
dude.
So I'm really grateful to be able to be there and be learning there, and I'm learning so much, and it's awesome.
So the father of heat illness.
Yes,
How did he
that's
be?
what I've dubbed him. I mean, I bet other people would agree with me, but yes,
So like, do you have like a father of psychology, right?
yeah.
You have. So is he like the father of heat illness? I don't
Like,
know.
did he
Did he
discover it?
discover it?
No,
Oh,
no, 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 no. But just any research done to prevent it and treat it that you would find on a
he's done it.
medical journal, his name's likely on it.
Got you.
Yes.
Okay, that makes
Yes.
sense. That makes sense.
So anything currently being researched and done to improve the field of medicine regarding heat illness, his name is likely on it.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's really really cool actually, because they'll get like phone calls in the middle of class from people like in the NFL talking about like when we had class in the fall. So it was literally every week we had like a short little 2 minute recap of like the games from that past weekend, and every week he would get like a phone call from the Miami Dolphins talking about how many cases they had that week, because we talk about like their stadium designs and like how
Yeah.
the visiting team is on the side of the stadium where the sun is setting, so they're in the sun the whole time. Home team's in the shade. So yeah, they kind of have like that's what the home field advantage is there. And he talks about the cases with the NFL Athletic Training Association or Athletic Trainers, yeah, Association, and what cases happened that week, how they were handled, how the patient's doing now. Like he's running point on all of it.
Oh, so he's him.
He's him.
He's Timothy Jones.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. That is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
So it has been nice like learning from him. Do you feel like you've like
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm really excited for this coming fall. We're doing a class on legal considerations in athletic training.
What do you mean legal considerations?
So if say a case or a patient's case were handled incorrectly and the patient died, then
Oh,
he's if it has to do
oh,
with heat illness, he was called in to be an expert witness and go and look at the field, look at the distance between where the incident occurred and the closest AED and what each person did or did not do and his thoughts on those,
oh
and
wow.
he provides dispositions.
That's
So
crazy.
we're gonna go through and we're gonna like mock trial all of these, and it's gonna be really really interesting.
Oh my god, it'll be
Yeah,
like suits.
yeah, absolutely. And some of them are really aggravating. Some of them like there's a guy that wrote a book on how much they hate this man because he came into this town and proved how this high school handled this kid's condition incorrectly and the kid passed away. And numerous other kids were sent to the hospital because of this coach's like conditioning set that he refused to let anyone rest on. There's
Oh
a whole
wow.
book written on how much they hate my professor because he came in and proved that they were all wrong. And this town believes that they all were fine, that no one was at fault. So yeah, it's like this. I don't know if you can still buy the book, but it's
Ignorance is
out there.
bliss, dude.
It really is.
That's
It
wild.
really is.
You
He's
know what's funny though
yeah.
is just like that change. You're noticing more and more that people are starting to accept that kind of change. I think
Mm-hmm.
once that um I don't want to say like age, but that's definitely a big thing.
Yeah.
Where when these Gen Zs and Gen X or Gen X, no, what's millennials? Is
I think
Gen
they're
X our
millennials.
parents?
I think
I think they're Gen
I thought
X.
they're boomers.
No, because they weren't born during 45. The big boom,
Baby
boomers.
boomers?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's why it's called the.
So Gen Z is after 45 and then we're millennials
Because
and
I know my
Gen
dad's Gen X.
your dad's Gen X.
Gen X.
Okay. So what's Gen Z? Are we
We're
Gen Z?
Gen Z.
And then millennials
Because you were
were
2000 or 99. You were
2000.
2000.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I are Gen Z.
Okay. Millennials are
They're
2001
right
and
before
before?
us.
Oh.
You and I missed it by like months.
Damn.
But what I'm saying is like everything is changing with all of us
Yeah.
and things like
Yeah.
that. Oh, you changed the conditioning. It's worked for years. You're killing kids.
Yeah.
Oh, you're still the bad person. Am I? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's wild notion.
Honestly, we're all at that age where we're like, transitioning into the adult world. Kind of scary, actually.
Listen, I don't want to live past 35. I think that's when I'm going to cap out of this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let this thing skyrocket. We'll see how it does. And then,
Retire at 35?
yeah,
Yeah.
retire.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
Just be like Mark. Just come in and get a drink from side every day. Just move on to the golf course and just walk over. You would totally do that.
no,
Yes,
no.
you would.
I'd be like Kirk.
Oh my god.
That's who I'd be. I'd be like Kirk. Yo, what's up, guys? It would just get
He's
blasted.
so funny. He brought in like a stack of glasses, and he's sitting in front of the sink right there, and he goes, "Hey," I'm like, "Hi." He goes, "I just want to say hi." I'm like, okay, Kirk.
He calls me Beetlejuice because of my chef pants.
They're pretty funny.
Oh, you don't like them?
I was honestly surprised to see you wearing them. I was like, "This is an interesting fashion choice,
You know
Matthew."
what? I think you're just jealous.
I really am. I
Listen,
really
I
am.
know. Listen, it's fine. You can admit it. We now have it on video. How do you feel?
They are
So,
ugly.
what? You take that back.
No,
You take that
never,
back.
never.
They're not ugly.
You can
They're
wear any other pants.
they're a fashion statement.
Any other pants.
Fashion statement.
As long as they cover your legs, it's fine.
Fashion
You don't burn
statement.
yourself again.
What do you mean? All right, it has to
You
happen.
do know I can tell when you burn yourself, right? If
How?
I'm out on the patio and I hear you scream "fuck," I know. I know how it sounds when you've hurt yourself or when you've done something stupid.
I know this is completely off topic of like the
It
main
really is.
topic, but one time, bro, when Rob was there, he had a tasting, like that's where a lot of money comes from
Okay.
at these weddings, and he pulls something out of the oven, and it was hot, and he yells tuna, but because he's like, I'm not gonna curse, so he grabs it, and he goes, tuna, and she's like, okay, guys, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go check on the other course. She goes, what was that? We're not serving tuna. And he looks in his hands like burned. She's like, what happened? It was really hot. There's like,
We're not.
dude, Molly knocked his hand into the fryer.
Oh my god.
I miss him, dude. I miss him so much. Anyways, so with all of that, I guess we can use this as like a segue. You work hard all year round. Like I know, like when we were talking, basically talking back and forth, just seeing when you were coming back,
Yeah.
um, and you were still there. So now you get done working that, doing school,
Yep.
being big girl, and now you're doing another big girl thing. You're working.
Yep.
So what is that like? How is that transition back into like working and dealing with drunks? I mean, not drunks, great customers. You guys are amazing.
Um, it was a little bit of a struggle. Normally, I got it down to a science now that I've been coming home about 3 years now. The first day is normally where I get all of my wrinkles out. I learn where we've moved stuff because literally every year I've come home, they've changed the patio layout and the kitchen layout.
There used
Like
to be a tent, dude.
I know.
No, there's
I
no
know.
tent.
And when it rains, we can still use the tent. But now when it rains, we have to run everything inside. Anyway,
You know what they say? When it
yeah.
rains, it pours. You know.
Yes, it does. But I normally know that, like, the night after my first shift, my legs hurt so bad because I'm not used to running around on concrete for that long. And it's like, oh my God.
Oh man.
I'm crawling up to my garage and up the stairs. I sit in the shower and I crawl back out and I go to bed.
Dude, there's some
I,
nights.
I literally, the night after the welcome summer party, the morning after, sorry,
That was not your first shift back.
it was my second shift back.
Oh
That's why it
my
hurt so much. I
god, dude.
literally, I'm not kidding you. I fell out of bed the next morning. Brandon looked at me and he goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I wasn't ready for that."
Yeah, you have to run around.
My legs hit the ground in the morning and they did not work. I
I
was like,
love.
"Oh my god."
I love when people
Yeah.
aren't used to that kind of hustle and bustle,
No.
and then they're running around. They go, "I'm like, you got to go
Yeah.
sit down."
Next thing you know, it's like 11 o'clock at night and you're like, "Where's everyone?" Oh shit, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a nice transition because I know that like I'm around people that I like to be around.
Nice.
And
Yeah.
it's, working here has been really fun. And I've made a lot of good relationships and friendships here. So I know it's like kind of like a hug coming home. I know.
Oh,
I know.
oh.
Trust me. It's
Well, we
like,
actually brought you here because we want you to go back.
hmm?
That was the whole point of this. We're sending you back. We actually got really sick of you.
Ah, damn.
So your bag's already packed. They're in the car. So
All
whenever
right.
you're ready.
See ya.
Oh,
Bye now.
just gonna leave.
No.
Not gonna say goodbye. Oh,
No.
rough topic.
Brian
Anyways,
wouldn't let me leave. Brian was texting me too when I was still finishing up stuff at Ucon. He was like, "When are you coming back, Stacks?"
oh, I was gonna kill some of these servers, dude. Oh my gosh.
I know. I kept seeing the group chat. Like the managers kept saying, like, "Okay, this doesn't go here. Reminder: this gets thrown out. Reminder: this gets thrown out." I'm like, how many times does he have to say it for them to listen? It is not. It's not that hard.
No, it's not.
It's not that hard.
But hey,
Yeah.
they're
But
never
yeah,
gonna learn.
I'm happy to be back. I know that like I'm also working on my thesis while I'm home.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm doing my data collection. So, it's been a balance of like getting work done in the morning and then going to work in the afternoon. And it kind of mirrors what I was doing at UConn. I was doing schoolwork in the morning and I was working on, papers and projects
Got you.
and then going to my GA as an athletic trainer and going and starting practices and stuff. And I've definitely seen like having two distinct places to have work to do is helping me
Sure.
because you're able to put so much of yourself into the first part of it, and then when you definitely need a break and you're like, oh my god, like I have so much to do, and then you have somewhere to be at a certain time and you have to go and you have to like switch gears.
Mm-hmm.
It's honestly kind of refreshing. Like
Yeah.
I've really at some points like dreaded going where I'm like, oh my god, like I have so many, so much work to do on this paper. I
You
have to do
sound like
all these
Jason.
edits.
You sound like Jason.
Do I?
Uh huh.
Oh yeah,
Uh huh.
yeah. That kid,
I
I'm
know.
really rooting for this kid.
Me too.
I know he's gonna make it, but
Me
like I'm
fucking
really
too.
trying to talk him off a ledge and keep him like level headed right now because I know he's stressed out. And I'm like,
Yeah.
listen,
Dude,
it
all the
happens.
time I tell everyone, I'm like, dude, he's
I know.
the kid. The kid's a fucking genius.
He really is.
He really is
He
a
really
fucking
is.
genius.
Yeah.
And like, I think he caught me saying that to Gordon the one day, and he goes, "I'm not." I'm like, "Jason, shut the fuck up." He goes, "You always just hype me up, man. I don't deserve it." I'm like, "Jason."
Yes, you
I'm
do.
like, "Yes, you
You
do."
do.
But yeah, dude, that
He's
kid.
one of the hardest working kids I know.
I know. But that's one of the reasons why I get to have like, a lot of respect for a lot of you guys.
Yeah.
Getting to see like I remember when he was studying for like zoology, like that was their readout course,
Mm.
and I'm like, dude,
He did
you know,
zoology as a PT student.
yeah, I'm pretty sure he took zoology. He said that was his readout course.
Okay,
Pretty sure it was zoology.
that's interesting.
If I'm wrong, then this is really embarrassing.
Yeah, that is.
He'll look back at this, and then what I'll do is I'll put it in the comments section, or I'll put him be like, I was wrong.
But like just an in between screen.
So I remember like,
Pause.
no, I'm pretty sure it was zoology because that's
I
what
think you could be right. I'm not
because that's when I learned what endothermic that birds are endothermic, that they can actually blow up.
okay.
Yeah, because he was sitting there studying one night, and I love this tangent because this is obviously the main focus of the podcast.
Totally.
It's like 3 in the morning. I was just up, right, and he was studying, and I watched him take pre-workout. I'm like, dude,
You took pre-workout at 3 a.m.
oh my god, yeah, he
We
lived on
should have
that
a
shit,
conversation.
dude. No, so
Do you remember when I would do that? I wouldn't take pre-workout. Remember when I was on my like energy drink era? Literally every single day.
it was like
Everything I
watching
worked.
it was like watching a ping pong ball off of like a wooden platform. Yeah, yeah. Like if I were to throw it into the rafters, it would just yeah,
That was like the unhinged time where like we all were all doing like twice as much work as we probably should have been doing.
yeah.
Like you were definitely doing twice as much work as you should have been doing. I think I was working doubles. Like
Mhm.
it helps the shift go by faster. To be honest, I felt like
I was a lot
way
more
more.
angry though too at the end.
Yeah, you were.
I was very.
Yeah, you were.
I mean, I'm still angry.
That
It's
dent in the table still there.
yeah, yeah. There's more. I remember. I forget who it was. Was it
At least you left your lasting impact.
dude, I forget what it was, but something came in and that like the entire ticket was wrong,
Oh really?
and they were all cheesesteaks. So you're just gonna bang them out real quick, right?
Yeah.
5 minute ticket. I'm holding the last one in my hand. So they're supposed to, bro, I fucking launched it. I turned around and I heard, I remember, my thingy still kind of hurts. I punched the prep table so hard. So hard. I'm surprised nothing fell off of it. And like right in the one corner is like a little like Matthew Dent.
I've seen it. You should sign that.
Should I?
Whenever you make your hasty exit from
Yeah,
from Creekside,
I'll
you should
chisel it
you
in.
should go sign that table. Yeah. Yeah. Back to the topic though. Yeah, these two different
Yeah,
focuses. Yeah, I've definitely noticed that like we really need to have a focus on like the social relationships and social
yeah,
interactions with people that bring us peace and like joy. Because I know
yeah.
that sounds like really Hallmark cardy.
No,
Like
but there's a lot of truth to that.
there really is. I've definitely noticed it and I've read research about it before I've noticed it.
Yeah,
And
people
like
don't want to be around. Like if why would you want to be in a place that no one
yeah.
like, that you don't like anyone?
No, but it's just like people that you are around that make your day better.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've noticed even at like college when I'm, like I said, like I have a million things to do. I have to make edits to this paper. I have to submit this assignment. I gotta, do preliminary research for this thing before class next week. And I got a million things on my mind. I'm just dreading going to work. Like I don't have, the mental space for it. I'm like, I need to get this work done, but I have to be there at this time.
Yeah,
And I get there and start feeling coolers and I have my athletes who I've built this rapport with. And I think this is one of the best things about the profession is that these kids really do appreciate and notice what we're doing, at least
yeah,
at this school that I'm at, and I love it. And they all come in and they all have their ways they say hi to me. Like the kids that give me high fives, the kids that give me fist bumps, the ones who come in and say, "Hey, remember that shoulder pain I told you about?" Yeah. And I just noticed that like, even if I showed up that day stressed out, I didn't want to be there, just after seeing these athletes and checking in with
you
them, they're
feel a lot
starting
better.
practice and yeah, and they're like all in a good mood. It's like contagious.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, like this is what I needed. I
And
didn't
you
know I
feel
needed
much
it, but I
better.
needed a break from staring at my laptop and being stressed about all this stuff. It's still gonna be there when you're done.
Yeah.
But at least you took a break you didn't know you needed, and it's great. And
I
I've
like that.
noticed it with work here too. When I
Really?
yes,
Really?
yes,
Okay.
even if it's a day where like I had to read 3 articles and pull out notes from them for preliminary research, and or like I had some sort of mishap with my data collection. I was really stressed out about it, and I was like, the last thing I want to do is go to work right now. Like, screw this. Like, I don't want to go in. Whatever, whatever. I didn't even know who I was working with. But I get there, and it's just like the way I walk in the kitchen, and people in there, like the way you guys say hi to me, it's like it just makes me feel so much better, no matter what the fuck's
I'm
going
gonna ruin
on.
your next day. I'm gonna make you regret saying that to me.
Even if, like, no, I appreciate you. Even if I
I
know like you're joking with me, or like the way Molly says hi, or like anything
Kayla.
Gordon,
What's up,
or
Kayla?
any of the bartenders, like yeah, I mean, it's just knowing that you have people there that feel like a family, feel like you can lean on them and support
Yeah.
them, and they'll support you back, even if like it's a day where we all get our shit rocked and we're all
Most
so
days.
pissed off. At least one of you will make a joke about something at the end of the night, and we can all laugh about it, even if we're tired as fuck. We want to go home. Someone knocked wings off the off the top of the thing onto the clean floor, and we had to re-clean it.
Dude, I'm getting it. Dude, dude.
I still feel bad about that day. Yeah, one of us will make a joke, and it'll be like, it's totally fine, because you know that those people, those
Yeah.
social interactions, are what build your day back up.
Yeah.
And it's something that like I did do research on this, and I saw that like social interactions are negatively associated with mental distress and certain mental conditions like depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
Like it literally does protect you from symptoms of depression and anxiety. Like
Interesting.
spending
Yeah.
time with people.
Oh,
And I know
yeah.
it's like
You hang with your friends. You're feeling
absolutely.
down. You go hang with them. Let them boost you
Absolutely.
back up. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like it seems like it's the kind of thing it's like on a little kitty poster on the wall, but it really does work
Yeah.
when you think about it. So yeah, I mean, I don't think humans were meant to be alone.
No, and like,
We're
well, you.
cohabiting species, aren't we?
What is? Yes. Well, there is this whole thing where like look at like these kidnapping cases or whatever it is, or they hide their daughter in a room till they're like 15, 16, and the police come and they're completely animalistic. They've had no social interaction with humans.
What was her name? That was a specific case we
Mm,
learned about.
I don't remember, but
She
I
was like 9 years old when she was found, right?
and yeah, dude, people need to be around people.
Yeah.
But we did so far an hour and 2 minutes.
Oh damn, has it really?
Yeah, an hour and 2 minutes. Well, I mean, after the beginning edit, we'll get cut
Oh
out.
yeah. Okay.
So yeah. So we'll as Gavin said last night, let's call this queued up and wrap it up.
Sound good.
Oh no, I'm turning into Gavin. I love that, man. But yeah, guys. So Kayla Staquet, the connoisseur of literally everything that she does. So you guys can find her on. Do you want them to know your social or?
Yeah, I'll put my Instagram up.
Okay, so you can go ahead and say it, and it'll pop up live with
It'll
you.
be Kayla STX.
And if you're looking for her Finsta,
No.
it's.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there. I've been posted on that in a long time.
Oh, I'm gonna send people to you.
I hate you.
Oh man.
No.
And then do you have an email, like a professional email, if anyone wants to reach out?